Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, evening, night to anyone watching this. I have a very interesting article I want to share with everyone here. Explains the history of the generous act that the Choctaw Nation did during the Irish potato famine. Let me rephrase that, as someone who is of Irish descent, I have been wanting to learn more about my family's history, culture, along with the Native American history. Some of you may already know the story, and some of you may not. But I've only heard bits and pieces of the story, so I wanted to do a little bit more research. Now, on Google Scholar, I found this article titled Recognition, Resilience, and Relief. The meaning of gift kinship, the author's name I cannot pronounce. I do apologize. But the author explains what happened during the Irish potato famine and why it became such a devastating tragedy. It discusses how the British government policies contributed to the suffering, leaving countless Irish people to face starvation. Now, what makes this story so remarkable is that the Choctaw Nation, who had recently endured the horrors of the Trail of Tears, and who had been forced from their ancestral land, still chose to help the Irish people despite facing immense hardships themselves. According to the article, the Choctaw people donated from either $170 to $740, depending on the historical sources. Back then, that was a lot of money. I don't remember the exact amount, but it's a lot. Now, either way, it is a significant amount of money at that time and an extraordinary act of generosity. Now, the article also highlights that the Choctaw Nation wasn't alone. Donations came from the Cherokee Nation, Calcutta, Barbados, Jamaica, St. Kitts, and many other places around the world. There was even an orphanage in New York that made a small donation to help the Irish people, which I think is beautiful. The article goes into much more greater details about these contributions, which I found both fascinating and inspiring. I highly rephrase that. I'm sorry. My allergies. I do apologize. I highly recommend reading it if you're interested in this part of history. It also encourages me to look into more articles on the subject and continue learning. On a side note, it's important to remember that the Irish have never forgotten this kindness. They have built a monument to honor the Choctaw Nation, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Irish people donated over $1 million to the Native American communities, especially the nation of the Dene, in recognition to the compassion that was shown during the famine more than 170 years early. I definitely recommend reading this article if you haven't, or if you get the chance. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Take care, and assalamu alaikum.